Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another week of SFR. I'm back again, Jimbo Mancy, and as ever, I'm joined by that guy Sven. How's it going, mate?
Yeah, it's going well. Trying to get a feel of the track of Hungary, but that's less okay. But I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah, not so bad, not so bad. I think sort of accustomed myself to the lockdown that's going on. Sort of have a weird routine now, which just involves me being in the house or in the garden, so it's quite nice. But the guys are readying up. They're a little bit early tonight, as they were all ready by about 7:15. So we'll crack on with proceedings. Obviously, we go into Hungary this week after Germany last week, and the big news, I suppose, to start with, is that our championship leader Senna Martins has a quali ban from an incident in Turn 1 in Germany. So he'll be starting at the back of the grid, and he'll be joined by Energy Dan, who is also on a quali ban for a similar incident going into Turn 1 as well. Other news, you'll see from our video stream, the Formula One world was rocked by some sad news yesterday, with Sir Sterling Moss passing away. 90 years old and the greatest ever driver to not win a world championship. Probably the nicest ever driver as well. Haven't seen some of the things that have come out in documentaries literally since yesterday as well. So we'll be running with the hashtag Sterling Moss rest in peace tonight, just doing our bit. And also a majority of drivers will be wearing plain white crash helmets for the race, as did Sterling Moss throughout his driving career as well. Philippe, you're quite a bit younger than me. Obviously, where are you at with sort of olden day Formula One?
Yeah, well, I'm turning 25 this summer, so I'm not that young, but I'm a little bit younger maybe. I started watching Formula One in maybe 2000, 2001, I think.
Yeah.
So I've been following it ever since. Michael Schumacher, Pelle Vargas, same driver, my favorite. Always been a Ferrari fan because of Michael Schumacher, and
yeah,
I'm not that good on the history earlier than that. I know drivers, but I don't know which year everyone won and stuff like that. But I feel like I have like on a mediocre.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure those
knowledge.
of you and yourself will obviously. The Formula One channel and documentaries will be plastered everywhere, and rightly so. Nothing less than he deserves. But we'll crack on to the race we've got ahead. Just waiting to find out what the weather is. It's dry, so we're dry race. No problems with rain. However, something that I am quite fond of around here is the rain.
Yeah.
So we've got Energy Dan taking
Should
the
we maybe
lead.
do the standings while we're...
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Are you on constructors or?
Yeah, I'm on constructors. I can swap to...
That's okay. I've got drivers up now, so we'll crack on as they have been updated. So just to give you guys a run through of the standings at the moment, just while my incredibly expensive super fast iPhone does nothing that it's meant to do.
Yeah, well, you're at it there. We have Energy Dan first out, and we have Shadow Britain 5th, or even 6th out.
I think he was first out of the pits as Energy Dan comes in.
Yeah.
He seemed to be first out of the pits.
DCG then.
Yep, so DCG starts a flying lap, closely followed by Need for... Oh no, is that Need for Speed or is that Pelderagus?
Pelderagus, the red helmet, you know.
Oh, and DCG goes wide.
Overtake.
No, just to confuse you, Need for Speed also runs a red crash helmet. So both Mercedes drivers are running red crash helmets.
Okay, now the hard decision comes. Who has the nicest?
Oh, so obviously we did mention Energy Dan has a...
Oh yeah, right. I forgot that part.
I haven't even got a look at the commentary chat on YouTube to know that Ben has already put in their tyres, lap data and track map. But it's all up now. Senna retires as well, so that is qualifying over for them, just getting their setups locked in for the race. Okay, so quickly onto the championship. obviously after the last race and Senna having his second DNF of the season, he is only ahead now by 43 points in the championship from Brumi. Luke still close behind, 20 points off of Brumi in third, and then we go down to X Gamer, who's had 3 third places in a row. He's on 105, so he'll be looking to jump up a couple of extra steps on the podium today, especially with Senna starting from the back. He'll be wanting to take as much advantage of that as possible. If we just quickly run down the championship order from there, we've then got Romsey in 5th, so the Red Bulls showing really well and both on the podium last week. They'll be looking to replicate that this week. We've then got Mad G, who'll be flying the flag from the front, hopefully for Renault from the start, whilst his teammate works his way through the field. DCG is in 7th with Topics 8th, Shadow Brit in 9th and Pro Oliver in 10th. Then got Psychomich in 11th, Xander 12th, James Hook 13th, Podge in 14th, Peldaragus 15th, ISRL Tommy in 16th, Sonic 17th, Gisalodian in 18th, with Energy Dan and Need for Speed still looking for that first point of the season. An uphill task, especially for Energy Dan starting from the back of the grid. But you never know, with a race like this and safety cars, it could be the best place to start from.
Yeah, you never know either. They said dry. It could always start raining too, so anything can happen.
No, so if you want to run through the constructors, Philippe, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty.
Still in the first place is Renault, but they got 0 points in Germany, so the second place McLaren, which was last week, did catch up, but the Red Bulls did catch up even more. Now they're second, so the McLaren is in third now. We have Haas in fourth, Alfa Romeo in fifth, Williams in sixth, Racing Point in 7 and Ferrari in 8. Then we have Toro Rosso in 9th and Mercedes finishing off in 10th. But Mercedes is catching up with the good result. I see now though, I think Toro Rosso is last because Mercedes has more points than them.
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Well,
that's
thanks.
the constructors.
Thanks for finishing on such a positive note for me there. Brilliant. So
where we're at, Racing Point.
Yeah, Racing Pod sits top of the pile at the moment with a cracking lap of 17.9 on the mediums. As we watch Topics, who has been showing good pace around here as well, and now in a couple of practices, been very close and battling with him. He's out on the hards at the moment, so probably just getting a feel for the circuit at the speeds. And I always think that sometimes going out on the hards is quite nice, because then you really start to feel the grip of the mediums and the softs if you go that way. So on that, strategy wise, what would you say is best for the guys around here?
Oh, I haven't had much time practicing the strategy, and I actually have zero knowledge of how long the tires last. But I think I can agree with you, but if you want to go on the mediums, maybe try the hards first, just to get a feel of how bad the hards are and how good the mediums could be.
Yes, Topics does.
The mediums kind of feel like a soft tire when you have driven the hard ones.
Yeah, it's kind of throw yourself in at the deep end, and all of a sudden everything seems easier as you work your way up. If you work your way up to the softs, they feel an absolute dream. But just to give you a heads up, and obviously the guys that don't already know, the tyre strategies around here is very similar to Germany. The softs are good for about 5 to 7 laps. It's then a case of whether you try to 1-stop or 2-stop. But I do think that with turn 4, turn 5, and also the fast right at the end of sector 2, I think we could see some incidents, especially when tyres start to go off, that could result in some safety cars as well. So I do think it's another one of, do you put yourself out of trouble and qualify on softs and start at the front? But if there's a safety car early on, you'd be forced to pit, and then you'd be back in the pack. So it's a very difficult one for strategy, because there is such a high risk of incident bringing out the safety car.
Yeah, I think I can agree with you there. Trying to stay out of trouble, go on the softs, try to get away from the pack, and do a 2-stopper. The problem with the 2-stopper here is it's a difficult track to overtake. You can overtake on the finishing straight. You can overtake on the second straight if you have a good exit and you're close.
Mm.
And you can also in the sector 2-3 line overtake if you're really close in the turn. I think it's turn 11. The fast right-hander there.
Yeah. So we're just
if you get
watching
really
Broomy come
close
down
and
to it
someone
now.
has a bad exit, you could overtake there, but I don't think we could expect someone to do it today, maybe.
No. So as we watch Broomy come around the final corner on the hard tyres, takes a wide line to give himself the slingshot out onto the start-finish straight, and he goes across the line with a 1:18.7 on the hard tyres. So he'll be looking to improve. He will also probably be looking to get in front of Mad G. Obviously second in the championship, Mad G could really drive shotgun here for Renault and make Broomy's race as difficult as possible.
Yeah, I think we're such late in the calendar now, we could maybe, not to be rude or anything to anyone, but Mad G will maybe try to do a second role in the Renault team, I think, by this time. Otherwise he would have challenged more earlier in the season.
Yeah, definitely. So we've got X-Gamer taking pole on the mediums with a 17.5. So we're starting to get down to some quick times. I have noticed in the qualifying sessions that I've done here, track evolution is quite big. If you time it right and come out at the end and get a clear run, and you have a clear run on your lap, you can definitely take some advantage from the track evaluating.
Yeah, I did my first quali practice like half an hour ago, and there we were on the soft because me and my brother was doing stupid 5-lappers. I didn't really feel like I had a pace, but I landed somewhere around the low 16 from the softs.
So one thing I have noticed is we've got Xander in 18th, another person who's been showing some cracking pace as he now comes on to start a hot lap. If you notice, his track map is red. Now, obviously we all know that means he's invalidated, and that is something that can be quite difficult to avoid around here when pushing for a qualifying lap.
Yeah, definitely. So you have the turn 4 where it's easy to go either wide or cut it too hard. And then you have even the chicane in the turn 6-7. You can cut that one quite hard, but not too much. And even the SS after that, it's really easy to turn in a little bit too early. And even go too wide.
As he invalidates at turn 4. So this is now where the frustration sets, because he obviously wants to qualify on mediums. He's already done 2 laps on them mediums. Yeah. He's now going to be eating into them and affecting his race pace. So now the question is, does he change strategy and go for the softs?
Or we try to beat it in hards, maybe. I mean, it's not that good of a time.
No. We've got Maggi on an 18.7, so he's 1.2 seconds up.
So you could definitely improve here, Sander, on the hards if he doesn't want to go on the softs. Then do you want to risk it? Is the question. Then we have Giselodian. Which tire has he qualified on? Is it softs or best? Yeah, he's on the softs on 1:19.7. I feel like he can improve a lot. Same as Need for Speed and the 19.2 with the softs.
Yeah, so if we look down the field, obviously X-Gamer currently sitting on pole position. We've got Sonic in second with Podge in third, Topics fourth, and then ISRL, Tommy and Romsey in fifth and sixth. Pro Oliver 7th, Pelderagis 8th, Madgy 9th, and then Broomy in 10th. Madgy now goes out on a fresh set of medium tyres.
Yeah. Topics has the best hard lap on 18.1. That's an impressive one.
Yes, we look up to Topics. He is on a lap at the moment.
He has really shown some pace lately. Had a rough start to the season, but he's been on the... Didn't he even win a race? No, he was close to, but Senna took it by penalties, I think.
Yeah, he's lost a couple on penalty. Oh, as he goes wide through turn 4 and invalidates his lap. And we've only got 5 minutes left for these guys to...
Yeah, Need for Speed is out on the softs again, trying to improve his 19.2.
So we watch Pelderagus, your guy Schumacher, coming through turn 5, stays well clear of the auto spin curb, a little too clear, runs out wide. Now, does he get the chicane right? A little bit wide into the left, but pulls it back nicely. A real key part of the track, this one, to make up some time. If you can nail this fast-flowing left-right section,
definitely, yeah.
You can really pull some time
even this part is from turn 5 to the end of the second sector is where you can see where people done their homework on track limits.
Yeah.
Especially the chicane and turn, what is it, 6, 7, 8, turn 9, you can go quite wide too.
So as Rumsey comes onto the start-finish straight, crosses the line, Pelderagus even, crosses the line with a 17.9.
That's a good one.
And we've got Pro Oliver now coming into the final corner as well. He was half a second up on his time at the second sector. So what is he going to bring us? He comes in with a 17.9, so it's getting very close at the top. X-Gamer looking comfortable on the medium tyres at the moment. Now we're back to topics.
He's still in the pits with Racing Poise, so I think they're trying to get the track when it's as good as it can be.
So we watch Topics come round the fast right-hander towards the end of Sector 2.
Purple second. It's not easy talking as a commentary when you're burping.
As he comes into the final corner. Runs it out nicely onto the curb, comes across the line with a 17.2 in pole position provisionally. However, that
Adam
will
Clark
be...
in the chat. He's telling us good evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, when will we see X-Gamer Racing Parts coming out for another try? Do you think we will see them?
Unless they're obviously going to go for the soft strategy at the start, then no, I don't think we will. DCG is out. Has he done his lap? And he's on an in lap. We've got Romsey on a lap.
Yeah,
he's coming into the final couple of corners now. As Mad G puts himself in third. And Romsey, as Zander goes top with a 16.5. That's an excellent time. As Romsey goes into 6th as well. So we've got DCG looking to try and get some track position. X-Gamer retires from the session, so we won't see another lap from X-Gamer. He's happy with that medium time.
Yeah, P3 on the mediums, that's a good one.
As ISRL Tommy comes across the line, he now starts a flying lap. DCG comes around the last corner to start a flying lap. We've also got Shadow Britain on a flying lap as well. So these are the guys' last chances. He's 3 temps down at the first sector.
Yeah. I have Racing Porsche really staying out of the way.
Stone Hooks comes across the line to start a lap. We've got yellow flags lighting up, but that's people just going slow.
Yeah. One right now, so.
Oh, Need for Speed getting on the auto spin curb in turn 5 there, but somehow manages to keep it going. I think we're not far off. We've got some invalidated laps.
Oh, Psychomich is spinning in turn 11, the fast right hand.
Oh, so he's lost it through there. So he won't be improving on 14th.
No,
the question is, will the guys behind him... Mad G retires from the session, Zander's retired from the session. And ISRL Tommy pushes himself up into 7th with a 17.9.
Yeah, and we have... Oh, Need for Speed doesn't improve.
And DCG comes around the final corner. He invalidated. He's got 8, 7, 6 seconds to cross the line. Plenty of time. He's got one more go at this now as well. As we watch James Hook come
Brumi
across the
didn't make
line,
it over
and
the
James
line.
Hook jumps Psychomich into 14th.
Yeah, and Brumi didn't make it over the line to make a second attempt. He was 1 second too slow.
Oh, DCG looks like he was wide out of turn 2.
Racing Push is looking really good right now. He's on the softs.
We jump back to Racing Podge. He's 3 tenths up on his time. Can he get close to the 16.5 that Xander set? Oh, and Podge runs wide through there. A little bit put off by ISRL Tommy going slowly through that sector. He was up on the grass, but these things catch your eyes.
Yeah, it's a purple second from him. Maybe it's debug, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm finding more and more circuits have the purple second sector everywhere.
Everyone can have a purple sector.
So as we watch him, oh, he gets
Quite
it wrong into
wide.
the last corner as well, and I think he's... No, he does improve with a 17.6.
It's from 10th to 5th.
So he bumps Mad G back to 6th.
Is it worth it to get 5 places for the softs instead of the mediums?
I think at the start of the race, the softs definitely for the first sort of 2-3 laps are better, but the mediums do come in quite quickly. It's just down to what happens going into turn 1. So if you want to take us through the finishing for qualifying, Philippe.
And I'm gonna do it quick this time. We have in pole position is Sander on the soft tires, really good lap from him. And we have Topics in second. Third is Sonic Hawk, X-Gamer in fourth, Racing Porsche the Super Swede in fifth, Magi in sixth, Romsey in seventh, ISRL Tommy in eighth, Brumi in ninth, Prolver finishing off top 10, Pelderagis is the first one off the top 10 in 11th, DCG in 12th, 13th is Luke, Shadow Britain in 14th, James Hook 15th, Psychomich 16th, Need for Speed 17th, then we have Gislodian, and we have Senna and
Energy Dan.
Energy Dan in the last one. I try to remember it from the head, but it's a lot of names.
No, it's fine. You definitely were quicker.
Yeah,
so,
and I also put in some punchlines too, so I feel quite good about that one.
Yeah. I would applaud you, but it sounds terrible on commentary if you start clapping. So
yeah, it's either good when 10,000 people claps or none.
Yeah. Okay, so we wait for the guys to do their finishing bits to their strategies for the start of the race. Predictions?
It's one thing I want to talk about before predictions, I think. It's Senna. What can we expect from him in 19th, leading the championship? Will he try to be too eager and do some mistakes from crazy overtaking, or can we see him being the Iceman of Kimi Räikkönen and just going through the field quite nicely?
I think what he needs to do is he needs to put his head back to Canada when he disconnected and on the formation lap, and by the time he got back in, it dropped quite a few positions and then came through the entire field with not even a warning, and won the race. So he can do it a little bit more difficult from 19th. I mean, not that I like to remember it, but I can speak from a quali ban in Spain. Again, another track that's not the easiest to overtake at. It is a lot of placement, getting that right. Also a good bit of fortune, because you need the other cars in front of you that you can't control to kind of part ways and clear the path almost. But here you're going to have to be aggressive, but also very tidy with it as well. There are places in Spain where you could get away with, you'd go for an overtake and maybe run a little bit wide, but not lose anything. Whereas here, you make a mistake going into any of these corners, and they're not as forgiving. So I think it's going to be interesting to watch and see him move up through the field.
Yeah, I also think. I think one thing he has to do is just to wait, because it's a track where it's really easy to make mistakes, and I think he just has to put the others in the situation of stress and hope for the best of them making mistakes.
It's a long race, isn't it? It's a long race. We could have a safety car right at the end. Penalties will play a game in this as well, because it is very easy to pick up penalties. But it's going to be an interesting race. But we could be looking at a different winner. The only thing I will say is I'm quite surprised by Brumi and Luke, second and third in the championship. They know that Senna has a quali ban, and they've not really maximised their opportunity in qualifying with 9th and 13th. So, within 2-3 laps, Senna potentially could be on the back of them. But he's got a lot of people to work his way through, and a lot of people that will be fighting for positions as well.
Definitely. But speaking of predictions before the start right now, we have Electrodan saying Roms is his guy to win, and I think I have to agree with this one.
So we have the green flags waving. We wait for the lights to come on. Everything seems to be running very smoothly. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we are go for the Hungarian GP as Senna looks to have made a good start from the back. He's already up into 18th as Gisolodian bogs it down. We ride on with Senna as he comes into turn 1. Where does he put the car? We've got people ghosting.
3 wide into turn 1. Oh, we have a Renault going over Toro Rosso.
Yep, so we've got some incidents there, and Senna's already up into 12th position.
Yeah.
And we have a safety car.
12. Yeah, and we have Sander is spinning and
and Sanders spun it. And reverses right out.
That's a dangerous one.
Car had ghosted, but yeah, not the ideal thing to happen. So the winners of the safety car early on, definitely Senna up into 11th with Zander spinning. So he's made. Let's put this up because Max
8th places right
now. Thank you. Yeah, I forgot.
On 8th as well.
I knew I had you here for a reason, Philippe. Thank you.
I'm the fact guy. I bring all the fact to the table.
Okay, so let's get the position changes up for the guys watching on the stream. So Senna's made 8 positions off the start. Psychomich 8 positions. DCG 7.
Energy Dan 7.
Yeah, Energy Dan was off the circuit going around the outside of turn 1. So whatever he's done.
Sure, everyone got a lot of positions there, but I think the true winner was maybe DCG or Magi actually.
I think
because gaining positions in the top is harder than gaining positions in the back.
I think the front 3 are going to be rubbing their hands together at this point.
Definitely, and also Magi got past all the soft runners, so I think he's the true winner of this one.
That was Pro Oliver picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. The big thing here is Senna in 10th now with the pit stop of Brumi. He's already ahead of his championship contenders.
Yeah.
The Brumi in 2nd in the championship is 13th, with Luke in 17th. So, Senna's already scoring a point.
And you also have Roms in 18th right now. I think he got caught up in the action back there. Now we have to kind of have an eye on Topics and X Gamer, because Magi has shown some good pace lately, and actually quite same pace of Senna, in my opinion, in late races.
And I know Senna has had a
compare Topics to X Gamer with Senna maybe.
Yeah, I know Senna has had the pace over Magi a little bit here, especially some of the qualifying times that Senna was putting in, and his race pace seems to be very consistent. But we've still got 33 laps of this Grand Prix to go. Anything could happen.
Yeah, really, it's hard to predict.
But it is the guys at the front who have sort of lost out big time, who were at the front. As you look at the position change, everyone inside the top 10, bar Sonic and Podge, have moved up positions. Shadow, 6 positions. Pelderagus, 2 positions. In terms of strategy though now, so the medium runners obviously will stay out, because these mediums will take them to sort of lap 13 to 15. That's when I expect to see people starting to pit.
I think the soft runners of Sonic Hawk and the Racing Porsche will kind of struggle right now, because they can't get away from the pack, they can't catch the pack either, because the softs will end quite soon. And,
no, the only thing they will have is that with the safety car coming out, it may give them the ability to run a soft hard. As Pelderagus picks up a 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits, but we're all fully aware that glitch is something that stewards do look at.
Yeah, but he hasn't
after the
done
races.
he hasn't done his pit stop yet, and it's quite hard to maybe remove a penalty from.
Oh, of course, yeah, because you have to take the 5
seconds
seconds
in the
pits. So
that's a quite stupid bug in this game, in my opinion. I think that's worse even than the safety car constantly coming out.
yeah, I mean it's close. Oh,
And they were
Senna
ahead.
Martins,
Senna
5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. So how is?
Now he's he must have spun or something. He's 12th now. I think he spun.
Yeah, he
Left
must
the
have.
track or something.
Has he clipped the curb in turn 5? Because I think even at 50 miles an hour, that curb will.
Yeah, I mean,
will
if you go
spin you
reverse
round.
on it, he will spin.
So the safety car should be in this lap. So after a great start for Senna, more bad news really. He's going to have to take that 5 seconds in the pits.
Yeah. I think in turn 5, if you drive next to it and if you take your right arm off the wheel and you point at it, you will spin too. It's quite
just
difficult one.
a horrible curb as the cars bunch up.
Yeah, the
Coming
safety car
into
is
the
into
second
the
to last
pit lane.
turn. So Topics launches now.
Here he goes. I think it's a good one.
Difficult one to get away here, isn't it? As Need for Speed picks up a 5-second
wow.
penalty with a collision with James Hook. Looks like Hookie's got away with that one. So we're off and running again in the Grand Prix. And it looks like the three medium runners have got a good jump over Sonic Hawk, who's coming under pressure from DCG into turn 1. He'll be wanting to get past as quickly as possible on their medium tyres. Otherwise he could start to get held up by Sonic when them softs go off.
Senna gained a position there on Energy Dan.
So Topics now pulls out a lead, runs a little bit wide through 4. Need to have a lot of confidence going into that corner because the back end can really get out of shape. And Mad G putting the pressure on X Game, although I feel he may have picked up a warning for cutting the chicane there.
Psychomich is even up to 7th now. He's looking good.
He is, yeah. So we go back to Senna. He's behind ISRL Tommy.
Ooh, DCG made a move on Sonic Hawk right there. Getting it done.
He did, and Podge is close, but DCG definitely needed to make that move as quickly as possible. Podge will be wanting to get past now as well. X Gamer seems to have pulled the gap back out a little bit over Mad G as Topic sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:21.2. Rules Need for Speed, 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
I think we will see a couple of penalties this race.
Senna managed to get past Tommy going into turn 1.
Yeah, I think Sonic Hawk is struggling a little bit because he's going quite wide in every corner right now. Except turn 4.
So we watch the guys come round 5, some of them getting really close to the curb, some avoiding it.
You know, we talked about in Austria about the difference between Mad G and Senna in their line of driving. I think Mad G has a really nice and tidy line when he drives, and if you watch him in the chicane of turn 6 and 7, you will really see how he really use every part of the track always. He's such a good driver right now, I think, Mad G. And the difference between X Gamer and him, he maybe caught up 2/10 using that corner, I think.
His DRS is enabled, so just change it back to the tyres so that we can see where everyone's at. Let's
see how it's going for X Gamer.
Senna manages to get past Pelderagus going into turn 1. So that's Senna up to 9th.
Here we have the turn 4. Magi is taking a really tight line. Looks really good.
He's staying away from the curb in turn 5 as well.
Yeah, going.
However, at the moment,
wider.
Topic's getting away, 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, look at that chicane he takes. It's so nice to watch.
See, I try to avoid the sausage curb on the left-hander of the chicane.
Yeah, I know some people do. I think it depends on the setup you run. If you do a quite low car, you have to avoid it.
Okay, so
Senna's
Maggi
really
behind
quick
X
right
Gamer. Yeah, he's working his way through the field. He's now right behind Shadow Britain. However, Shadow close enough to pick up the DRS.
Oh, I think we will have a fight right now between Racing Point and Sonic Hawk coming into the finishing line.
So Senna here could jump 2 positions. He manages to get on the inside of Shadow. And that's P8. And I'll be looking to get past Psychomich as quickly as possible because he's on the hard tyres. So he's... Oh, we have a yellow in sector 1. We've got Pro Olive around.
Yeah.
So he's had a spin. And he hasn't picked... Oh, he has picked up damage. He's lost his left end plate. Back to the front. Topics now has the lead up to 3.3. However, Mad G 0.3 of a second behind X Gamer. So if he can hold that going into the start-finish straight. I know G's running some very low wings, so prepare to watch him just sort of blast past. But you can see the low wings cause trouble coming through the last sector.
Yeah, I think sector 2 is where you struggle if you do the low downforce setup.
Looks like he's keeping him in check as we come into the last corner. And we jump on board. X Gamer gets a good line and a good exit, but let's see what this DRS wings and everything turned up does for Mad G.
Oh, look at that
wow,
speed!
Really pulling him in.
320 kilometers an hour.
Ooh, as they touch, going around turn 1, and X Gamer holds the position. Great stuff from X Gamer.
That was a fair racing.
Yeah, definitely 2 lines around turn 1. You can pull it tight and try and make the move, but normally the person on the outside will get the better traction and run into turn 2.
Well, they're battling. DCG is catching up quite big.
Yeah, he's got the gap down to 1.6. I do think it is just a matter of time before Mad G gets X Gamer.
Racing Push might have made a mistake right now because it's 2 seconds off Sonic Hawk.
He is, and he's got Senna Martins all over the back of him. And we all know
the
softs
tires as well.
Yeah, they're going to be pitting either this lap or next, I would imagine. So that's 2 positions that Senna's going to jump up. It's then a case of bridging the gap to DCG. Senna patiently takes his time behind Podge. Oh, we've got Zander round. And he retires from the session. Did he...
No, he didn't crash out. His car is going back on the track. Racing Porsche in the pits.
Yep, Sonic Hawk has decided to stay out. So we have a yellow in sector 3 for the stricken car of Zander. And really, that shouldn't be there. Fingers crossed with... Yep, the car's gone, so there will be no safety car or VSC either. Mad G still behind X Gamer. DCG, the gap remains 1.6.
Senna with a purple first sector right now.
Yep, he's now going to get held up a bit behind Sonic, whose soft tyres are going to be crying enough. Now, is he going to make the move going into the chicane?
Oh,
he's not. However, these seconds that he's losing could be critical at the end of the race, especially with the pace Topics is showing at the moment. And remember, Senna has a 5-second penalty that he'll be taking in the pit lane as well.
Yeah.
Romsey seems to be working his way back up the order as well. He's back into 11th with Energy Dam just outside the points.
Ooh,
we've got sectors.
Touching Tommy.
We've got Luke round at the end of sector 2.
No damage. That's good news.
A huge battle. from Tommy.
Now we will see the overtake from Energy Dan.
Yep, the jump on board with Energy Dan. He's in the tow, comes into turn 1. Now, can he get the line and the traction out? It looks like Tommy's got some wing damage on the right. I think he's missing an end plate.
Yeah, if you really compare the top speed too, Mad G going for the overtake on X Gamer made it to 320 kilometers an hour. Here we have Energy Dan on 312.
Wow. 200 miles an hour on that start-finish rate at Hungary is something else.
Yeah, Energy Dan lost 8 kilometers an hour. What is that? 3 miles an hour maybe?
However, DCG has now got the gap from 1.6 down to 0.6 of a second. So another one in the DRS. So X Gamer's going to start to feel the pressure soon.
Yeah, Tommy's
Podge
struggling.
picks up a 3-second penalty. Yeah, Tommy has an end plate missing, and round here, that is horrific.
This is a Monaco of racing tracks, but it's not the same as Monaco, because in Monaco you can drive without an end plate. Here you can't. Really.
No, not with the fast turns like turn 4, 5, and the fast right-handers. Senna sets the fastest lap of the race. So far, the guys that started at the back looking good, with Senna up to 5th and Energy Dan up to 8th. And you can see Energy Dan running that all-white helmet in respect to the late great Sir Sterling Moss. As Tommy comes into the pits to get the wing changed and puts on a set of hards, so he'll be looking to go till the end of the race.
Ooh, and as DCG is really up to Magi and X Gamer right now.
Yeah, great shot as we come through the start of Sector 2 with a helicopter shot there.
I didn't get the helicopter shot.
You got to buy that bundle. That's extra DLC.
Magi might have a couple of warnings right now, because he's always going quite wide out in the fast right-hander.
So Topics at the moment, we haven't really mentioned him much in front, but he's pulled out the lead to 8.5 seconds. I really think Mad G could get X Gamer now. Oh, I don't know. X Gamer's had a good run. He gets really, really close and hugs that inside line. Oh, as Mad G squeezes him a little bit going into turn 1, but X Gamer keeps the position. Now, does he hold it into turn 2? He goes to the inside. And he does. He defends really, really well. Great on-board stuff.
I didn't make the switcheroo work. The question is, how frustrating is this for Magi being behind us?
I would imagine very, especially with how close he's got there, and now Senna's on the back of him as well. So
X Gamer's going really slow right now.
Yeah, I think the mediums are definitely coming to the end of their life. Is now the time as X Gamer you go, right, I'm protecting myself from the undercut and I'm going to pit and put the hards on and go till the end of the race.
Yeah, I think anyone here could pit now, because absolutely you have to do 4 more laps on the hards, but I think it's worth it if you can get past X Gamer right now, because you lose so much time for Topics. It's 10 seconds up to the leader right now.
Anyone go for the undercut? DCG. So DCG pulls into the pits.
I think this is a smart move. Hopefully it doesn't get stuck in too much
look
traffic.
At the straight line speed of Mad G down here is just phenomenal.
322 I think, at least. And now
he knows that he can get the move to... Oh, that's close. X Gamer
breaks really late.
Oh, and they touch again. Oh, and he goes very wide through there.
Senna was thinking about it, but
he was. And
Senna is really trying to get past Magi right now. Where did DCG end up?
He's come out in 13th.
Right behind Racing Porsche and Luke.
Stick with this battle for second at the moment, because guys are within
Yeah, I'm
from
just
second to
watching
fourth
around,
within
stick with the
half a
top battle.
second.
I think this could be good for DCG because he's behind Luke. He's on quite fresh tires. He's making a move on racing post, getting past right now.
Ooh,
DCG
Mad G
wanna win
goes
this one.
deep into the penultimate corner, and they all stay out for another lap. We have a yellow in
It's
sector 3,
Bruni.
one of the McLarens, Brumy's round. And we have a virtual safety car because of that. So even more frustrating for Mad G and Senna.
And that's Energy Dan in the pits,
Energy
making
Dan,
a couple of seconds.
Yeah, that's a great move from Energy Dan there. So what tyres does he go on to? He goes on to another set of mediums. So he'll be going to softs at the very end. So this could really work in his favour if he can come out and put some pace down.
Yeah, I think so.
Now, does anyone make the mistake that I did last week under the VSC? I hope not, because it's not a nice feeling. As we go, DRS enabled, and it looks like everyone, unlike me, is capable of driving under a VSC.
You're not alone.
I think this is really
best of us.
Got to be when X Gamer decides to pit. He knows it's only a matter of time until the Renaults get him.
What is up with Topics? Is he doing the double diffuser or something? He's having sick pace right now.
No, he is looking really, really good.
And I can't see him making a move because he is just going out on the mediums, sticking to them until he sees the guys behind pitting, and then he can pit because he's not going to lose 12 seconds in the pit stop.
Did he lose any of them into the pits? Both Renaults. Oh, do you know what? I think there may have been some miscommunication from the Renaults there.
Think?
Because Mad G was going into the pits and it looked like Senna was going in as well.
Oh.
And Senna last minute had to kind of bail out to not get double stacked. Whilst all of that's gone on, Psychomich gets himself up into fourth.
Let's compare Mad G to DCG right now because DCG is coming out here. I think DCG is ahead. Yeah, he is. That's the undercut.
And Podge as well, around the outside. Oh, that's close going through there. Podge doesn't battle back into two. I think at times like that you need to kind of just put your front end back in there again, really.
Yeah.
But DCG
had the space to go for it.
Yeah, DCG has jumped him. We've got James Hook up into 7th, Romsey now up into 6th. Shadow up into 5th. Zex Gamer and Senna are battling. Going into the penultimate corner. Oh, Senna spins it up a little bit on the inside. And they both come into the pits. So, interesting strategy to try and push past someone when you're going to be pitting, but... Okay, so remember Senna will be serving a 5-second penalty in the pits. Psychomich goes into 2nd and Shadow now goes into 3rd. Shadow yet to pit.
This is gold moment for Topics. He made a pit, still in the lead, ahead of Psychomich.
Fresh hard tyres.
Yeah, he's going to go for it now.
He's in a good place now. So Energy Dan sets the fastest lap with a 21.0 on the medium tyres. Great stuff from Dan.
Yeah. This is what we want to see from him, making the points right now.
Yeah, and due to that penalty of Senna's, Dan's got past him in the pits as well.
DCG made a move on Luke right now.
Yeah,
so
DCG and Luke really going for it with each other.
Oh, it's so much action right now. I love this race.
As Pro Oliver sets the fastest lap of 120.5. Wow, a great lap on the mediums. Oh, Mad G cuts across the chicane again to try and avoid the car in front of him. X-Gamer, who Mad G has managed to jump in the pits as well, and I did say that that would happen due to the undercut.
Yeah, Senna is really
I think X-Gamer's...
we had a 5-second.
Yeah, I think X-Gamer's made a big mistake there. He's lost that position to Mad G due to the undercut. And with it being so hard to pass around here, he's definitely not going to get Mad G down the start-finish straight, even if he's behind him in his DRS.
No, not with that straight line Mad G has.
So at the moment, we've got Shadow, who is all over the back of Psychomich in 3rd place. And having an absolutely brilliant race. Now he has got to stop.
Yeah.
Psychomich will be stopping again as well. So this is another one of these cases. Does Shadow undercut Psychomich now? Because he's got an opportunity to.
The thing to talk about right now is Romsin, James Hook and Psycho, I think. How long can they go on the hards?
I don't think they'll go to the end.
No, it will be really hard. But
unless there is another safety car, but then
maybe.
Yeah.
Because
James
remember,
Hook sitting
Romsey
comfortable in 5th though.
Romsey was in 18th place after the start.
Yeah. I also think the one to watch out for here could be Energy Dan. Because if he gets a safety car at the right time,
yeah,
as Topics takes the fastest lap away on the hard tyres, but if he gets a safety car at the right time, after a great stint on them mediums, he could get himself into a fantastic position for the end of the race.
Definitely.
At the moment, we've got Romsey now up to the back of Shadow. Senna sets the fastest lap on the hard, so Senna showing that he has the pace over Topics. Unfortunately, not the position. Romsey will be getting frustrated now because he'll be wanting the 2 cars in front of him to pit. I really think this is a point with the medium tyres that Shadow needs to say enough is enough and come in and put some hard tyres on to go to the end of the race.
Yeah.
Because he will get the undercut on Psychomich. If his pace is that similar on the mediums that are 17 laps old as well as the hards, then he'll come out and he'll pull 1-2 seconds. Pelderagus picks up a penalty. Looks like Romsey's going to go for the move on the inside of Shadow. He thinks about it. Shadow runs out wide, and that gives Romsey just enough to get in front as Broomy picks up a 3-second penalty as well.
Yeah, this has not been Broomy's race at all.
And Shadow does go into the pits, as does Psychomich though, so he's not going to get the undercut. However, we have Romsey now up into P2 after an awful start to the race. The question is now, where will Senna come out and Dan with these guys in front of them pitting as well? There's a massive battle going on with DCG, Mad G and Mad G pulls it tight, and straight line speed may give him it down into here. DCG has the inside line. And that's...
touch a little bit.
Yeah, but to be fair, DCG had the line. I think it was very similar to... I can't remember who it was that did it to Hamilton round that corner. Probably Rosberg. But they ran him out onto the outside of the track.
I think it even was Verstappen, if I can't remember correctly.
Ah, yeah. I think that rings more of a bell.
Because Verstappen got a 6 star, like in 2007 or something, I think it was. 17, I mean, not 7.
Oof, Energy Dan gets it wide out of 9. And we have a yellow in sector 2. We've got Broomy.
This is
He's
not
having
his race at all.
Terrible race, yeah.
It's the GP2 engine.
Oh, who have we got out wide there? Looks like it was Luke, who's got X Gamer right behind him, who's got Racing Podge right behind him, closely followed by the second Ferrari. However, I think Senna is now going to get the move done on Energy Dan. Yep, he takes that position. Energy Dan can't fight against the DRS. Oh, as Mad G gets... Oh, and they come together again. Oh, we've got a spinner. And DCG. Well, that will be one that will go to the stewards for sure. DCG still not getting the car turned around. Here he comes. Broomy is retired in the pits, so he's given up on the race. However, it was getting a bit fruity with Mad G and DCG, so not surprised to see that. And in all of that, Mad G has lost an end plate.
Ooh, That's
And
not good.
with the low wings that he is running, that, as you can see there, is going to feel like, well, I say that and everyone just takes the same line, but that is going to feel like driving an absolute tank around here. And he's going to stay out.
Yeah, I think he's going to do a lap to evaluate the speed he has. Maybe it feels like, yeah, I have such a good straight line speed, so they can't pass me anyways.
I can hold it anyway, yeah. So back up at the front, all of that going on. The gap from Mad G to James Hook is 6.4 seconds. And with James Hook keeping his car intact and Mad G missing an end plate, you'd like to think, oh, we have a yellow in sector 3. DCG retires from the race after that, coming together with Mad G.
Yeah. Oh, come on, Racing Porsche is fighting back to Senna.
No, looks like Senna's got the move done. However, a more positive race so far for the Ferraris, both of them in the points. I know they've had their struggles this season. Well, Mad G is managing to pull that gap into James Hook. And he's managing to maintain a gap over Luke.
Now I have the helicopter shot and I am happy.
Did you just sneak off and get the DLC for it? Oh, Luke runs very wide.
Was worth the £800 on PS Store.
I didn't realise EA Sports made the Formula 1 game. Okay, so we now have Luke on 19 lap old hards. X-Gamer very close behind. Though is X-Gamer going to get the move done? Looks like Luke is running quite low wings as well, and I think with X-Gamer running really high wings, he's struggling to get past. He's on the outside. We watch on board from Senna. And oh, they come together. Oh, Senna's going to go round the outside of X-Gamer now. Oh, wow.
By Luke.
And X-Gamer out of... Wow, that was... Oh, that's going to be tight through turn 4. That pushes Luke out wide. That's probably the best bit of onboard. Yeah, Energy Dan was very close to the auto spin curb.
Yeah, he even drove over it. He was on the grass, but so he missed the curb.
Okay, so
James
back at the
Hook
front.
is happy in the front there, thinking, yeah, you can battle on.
Yeah, the only thing I'm thinking is 12 more laps on them hards is going to be a difficult ask. And if you look at the delta to everyone down the field, a pit stop here is going to throw you back to 13th, 14th.
Topic's just doing his thing in the top.
He's literally just got to keep it on the road, away from the big curbs, away from the penalties. Senna gets X-Gamer as X-Gamer comes back at him into turn 1. And you know, this is good, having to see they go very defensive into turn 2. Seeing Senna battle his way through the field, you know, we've seen him dominate at the front. It's always good to see someone with that pace be able to actually battle their way through as well.
Yeah, I think we have a cheater in this race too by Topics. His name is Topics V7. Maybe he has a V7 hybrid engine instead of the V6.
Possibly.
That's why he's so fast.
So Mad G is pulling in James Hook, and at the pace he's coming into him, he will get him by the end of the race. However, at the moment, X-Gamer is losing time to Mad G due to the battling with Senna.
Yeah.
And if we look just behind, Energy Dan is up into 8th. Podge in 9th. We've got Sonic Toro Rosso scoring a point at the moment in 10th, and Sonic will be looking to go to the end on them hard. So fingers crossed he can bring us home a couple of points. Further down the field we have Harry making his... Well, I think he's done more pit stops than he has actual laps this race. So, we go back to the front. Senna gets around X-Gamer this time, and that's the move done. He'll have the DRS down into turn 2. So now Senna can focus on reeling in Mad G. However, if X-Gamer's good enough, he can cling onto the back of Senna and get pulled along.
Yeah, it would be an interesting battle to see if Maggie lets Senna past or what happens there.
Mm. Oh, we have a yellow in sector 2 and Psychomich is round.
Yeah, he made it back quite quick.
Oh, and we have another yellow in sector 2 and it's Need for Speed who's just put fresh top. Well, I don't even know if they are fresh anymore because you only get so many tyres for each pit stop. So Need for Speed not having the best of races here.
He's having one lap mediums on right now.
Yeah, someone who is having a fantastic race at the front is Topics. He's kept himself out of trouble, kept it clean. He's got 10 seconds over Romsey, who's on much older hard tyres. He has this race in the bag. Whatever happens now, really, to anyone else, because if a safety car comes out, he can jump on the softs.
Yeah, I think we have 4 drivers waiting for a safety car. It's Energy Dan. We have Luke, James, Hook, and Romsey.
Luke tries to make the move on X Gamer, but runs horribly wide through turn 1.
Energy Dan making a move on Luke instead.
And Energy Dan is going to have the same issue here. He gets the move done. Great stuff from Energy Dan around the outside of turn 2.
Yeah.
We have a yellow and it's Psychomich again. And he spun it coming through there. So back up at the front. We've got Senna closing in on his teammate who has a damaged wing. So will team orders come into play? But Energy Dan breathing all over the back of X Gamer. He'll want to get that move done. Will the team orders come into play down the start-finish straight? Because it looks like Mad G's pace is slowed up a little bit on James Hook, so he's not pulling that gap in.
I hope not. I want to see some battles. I want to see Mad G. I think he wants to prove, yeah, I can be the first driver in this team.
I think he's going to give the position up. Senna has the DRS open. And he doesn't make the move.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit too far behind. They don't want to lose time if they do the move.
Where else do you do the move on the track, though?
I think it's the finishing straight, but I think
they could have
to catch up a little bit more.
Yeah, they could have done it with X Gamer nearly 3.5, or just over 3.5 seconds behind, but. So Senna very close to his teammate now. Big props to James Hook though, having a fantastic race. I know he's been struggling here in practice sessions, and at the moment in third, them tyres are going to start feeling pretty awful come the end. But he's there. And Energy Dan, who started at the very back of the grid, up into 7th as well. And we know Energy Dan's got to stop again, but he's going to come out on a set of soft tyres that are going to be so much faster than anyone in front of him.
Yeah, so and now we're going to see, hopefully see Senna go past Maggie here, so we can maybe have some action in the front.
Yep, I think this is where the move gets done. As he pulls out, Maggie eases off the power. And Senna takes the position. Runs it a bit wide coming out of there, which allows Maggie.
Maggie's fighting back. Yeah, they don't want to do orders here.
Okay, so interesting stuff, mate.
Respect to Maggie. I like this. I want Maggie to prove himself, to say to Senna, yeah, I can be as fast as you can.
At the moment, the only person benefiting from this is James Hook. As the gap goes back up to 5 seconds.
Or maybe Senna is telling Maggie, yeah, I'm quite ahead in the championships. We can have some fun.
Yeah, at the end of the day, wherever Senna finishes now, he's gonna pull a lead, as we have a Mercedes around. And I'm pretty. Yep, it's Need for Speed again. So he's really not getting on with this track.
Yeah, I'm feeling for him. He's struggling quite hard in this track.
Have a feeling Senna has gone with the low wing setup that Mad G has been running. Because if they're not giving up the position, Senna looks to be able to close in down the start-finish straight. This time he should get the move done.
23, that's more than G gets him.
Yep,
Now
so he gets the move done. Yep, nice and clean. Got Energy Dan closing down on X Gamer. Energy Dan will be pitting in the next lap or so, hopefully this one. Because I feel their medium tyres may have given all they've got. Oh, they've got Shadow making a move on Sonic. So Shadow creeps up into 10th. So that's a point. Now if we watch the gap from Senna to James, that is going to chunk away with Senna on much fresher hard tyres. And what's going to happen is he's going to pull his teammate along with him as well.
Magius might have already lost the DRS though.
He has already. Six laps to go then. Or 6.5. We'll get there eventually. But Romsey looking really good. I think even with the tyres now, he's got that position closed off. Really, Romsey, if he had someone looking at the deltas for him, could have pitted and put the soft tyres on. Yeah, Senna sets the fastest lap on 13 lap old hards and has the gap down to 3.3.
Energy Dan is putting on the softs now.
Yep, so Energy Dan into the pits. He's going to come out quite a bit down, but he is going to be much more. Oh, as Romsey picks up a 3-second penalty. The question is, can Senna get past James quick enough to get that gap down to within 3 seconds? So Energy Dan comes out in 15th. However, takes it a bit wide through one, but if we now watch...
I can kind of agree with my brother in the chat who's saying James get that podium.
Yeah, it would be great to see him.
Keep this hards out, maybe.
And the only thing that has happened as well is the sun seems to have gone away in certain parts of the track, so there would be nothing worse than a sprinkle of rain on tyres that were 27 laps old. Really pleased that James Hook is having a solid race here.
Yeah. I can only agree. I think he's driving really good right now.
And the guy that we haven't really seen much of is Topics at the front, who drove a faultless race. Got away at the start. Made the right strategy call with the mediums. Set a good quali time on the mediums as well to put himself near the front.
Yeah, I think it all went down to Sander spinning in the first lap. I think if
Shadow gets his way past Potter's. Shadow now up to 8th position, so the Williams having a really good showing today, and they need it. Now, can Shadow pull the gap into Luke, who's on much older tyres?
Ooh, we have some battle here now with James who can stand up for P3.
We do, and we have Mad G only 3 seconds behind.
As Romsey pits.
So he's going to go for the pit stop. Well, that's... I think should have been a lap earlier.
Yeah, I think so.
Because Mad G's now going to get past him. X Gamer as well. No, so he comes out in front of X Gamer. But to get past Mad G on the start-finish straight here is going to be really, really difficult, even if he's on soft tyres. Senna has made the move on James Hook. Hopefully now James Hook can just sit in behind Senna as Energy Dan goes on a 19.4 on the soft tyres. Oh, James Hook picks up a 3-second penalty. Oh, and gets it on the auto spin curb as well.
Yeah,
come on, Hooky, keep it together.
The heart rate is going up by 50 right now. Romsey's already in the back of him.
Yeah, if Romsey can get Maggi on the start-finish straight, or even coming down into this corner here, and I think that's what he's going for. As he does, he makes the move. Now, he needs a really good couple of corners to gap Maggi. And it looks like he's doing it. He should get that gap up enough. So he'll get James Hook as well. The question is, will he catch Senna?
I have no idea. Could.
Should James Hook have pitted as well?
It's a hard one. Depends on how his tires are. I can't imagine they're doing well right now. I think he should have pit like lap 30, 29.
As Romsey goes purple in the first sector, and that's to be expected on these soft tyres. Now, can he get the run on Hooky out of here to make the move going into the chicane? He can. Look at the difference in the grip of tyres.
That's insane.
That car at the moment is going to feel like an absolute dream to drive.
Yeah,
and he now has 3.8 seconds in 3.5 laps.
Yeah, imagine doing qualifying speed in 3 laps. That's...
As Romsey, remember, he does have a 3-second time penalty as well, so he could be quite hindered by this, as I think Maggi is possibly going to get James Hook, whose tyres look like he looks like he's driving on glass almost now.
Yeah, I think what he wants right now is points.
Oh, he's going to get them. He's definitely going to get points. As we watch Romsey, the gap now 3.3. But if you look at the guy in front, Topics has 26 seconds.
Yeah, that's sick.
Shadow gets the move done on Luke, so Shadow up into 7th. And energy down on them soft tyres is about 6 seconds off of a point. Romsey not actually closing the gap down to Senna. It's up to 3.5. Maggi, however, closing down on James Hook. So really good drive from both of these guys, really, when you think Maggi's missing an end plate around one of the hardest tracks to drive without an end plate.
Yeah.
And James Hook taking the hard tyres. Now 31 laps.
I think he's driving the hard tyres more laps this race than I've done all year.
It looks like Maggi has kept it close enough now, and if we watch the straight line speed, James Hook, Hooky puts up the defence a little bit too late for the inside.
Right now he has to P6 if the point penalties.
He does,
and 3 seconds.
It will be a solid finish for Williams with Shadow in 7th.
Yeah.
Romsey only has the gap down to 2.6. However, what Romsey has done there is he's given himself a podium, but I think he would have been better to stay out on the hards and take 2nd.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think Senna would have caught him on the hards. Judging by James Hook's pace.
Oh, we have a yellow in sector 2 as Sykomic goes round, and Energy Dan gets himself up into 13th. Sykomic takes a spin at the end of the race and retires as well.
Lost the points by Tommy right now. Racing Point is behind the Racing Point.
Just to make it confusing for you. So, Topics starts the last lap a full 26.5 seconds nearer his rival as Pelderagus picks up a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings.
That's a free spot for Energy Dan.
That is, yeah, and Energy Dan could get close enough.
Depending
Who knows?
on
I don't know what the penalties are further down, but for me, I know Senna has made a fantastic drive from the back. But if you wanted to give driver on the day on the basis of keeping it perfect,
seconds.
So Topics comes into the final corner to take the checkered flag and the win of the Hungarian Grand Prix. And after what happened in the German Grand Prix, as Need for Speed retires from the session, Topics takes the win. A brilliant drive and full advantage taken of Senna starting further back. Fair play to Senna Martins with his qualifying ban, has brought himself all the way through to second. That's a great drive from him and continues to lead the championship by a huge gap, with Brumi not finishing today and Luke only looking like getting 8th position. Romsey comes home in 3rd. We have Mad G crossing the line, missing an end plate in P4. And James Hook crosses the line 5th, but takes 6th, and he'll be absolutely delighted with that, as Williams takes 6th and 7th with Shadow. We then have Luke, Sonic and Tommy all coming across the line. Sonic jumps up to 8th, so points for Toro Rosso as well.
Luke to 10th.
And Energy down 12th. And
Ferrari is just missing points this race.
That's the Hungarian Grand Prix. So if you want to get inviting the top 3 into the chat,
yep,
we'll cover off the positions as Topics takes a fantastic win. So a great drive from all of our top 3 really. When you think of the challenges that Senna had from the start, Topics kept it completely clean, and Romsey getting spun on the first lap, back down in 18th, coming home in 3rd. So that's the Hungarian Grand Prix. We'll just run through the finishing positions one more time. Topics takes the win with Senna in 2nd. Romsey takes 3rd. Mad G4, so another great result for Renault, but also a good result for Red Bull in 3rd and 5th, with X Gamer taking 5th. James Hook, a fantastic effort in 6th place. What a race from Williams, with Shadow taking 7th. Sonic Hawk takes 8th, and that pleases me. It's a couple of points for Toro Rosso there. ISRL Tommy comes home in 9th, with Luke taking 10th. We then have Racing Podge in 11th, with Energy down 12th. Pro Oliver in 13th. Peldaragas 14th. Psychomich 15th. 16th for Need for Speed. We then have DCG 17th. 18th for Brumi. 19th for Zander. And 20th for Gisolodian. And I think we have all of the podium guys in. So we'll start with our race winner. Topics. A little bit happier than this time last week?
Oh, mate. I just can't even get words out, to be honest.
No, I'll say a couple for you. Perfect drive. You didn't put a foot wrong. All race.
Honestly, mate, absolutely unreal. I only got one warning throughout the whole race, and it just, to be fair, it just couldn't have gone any better.
No, and if you go back to your practice sessions as well, you know, they were difficult, to say the least, with warnings, penalties, spinning, and stuff like that. So nice that it all came together. I think what got you the win myself was your qualifying lap on the mediums. It put you right at the front.
You know what? It was a really funny one, because obviously I've seen that I'd split the two soft runners at the front, and I thought, if I can get the jump at the start and get into P1 through the first corner, I think that's it. I think that's game, set and match. But it was just that initial, am I going to get away in front of them or not? But as soon as I got in front of them and round the first corner and the safety car came out, I thought, that's it, it's done, it's over.
Yeah, it was a great race, great drive from you. As I say, you didn't put a foot wrong, and that shows in just one warning. Your pace was really, really solid, and you know, we take Senna finishing 27 seconds away because of him starting at the back, you still beat the guys behind you by around 28, 29 seconds. So a real dominant performance for sure. But yeah, well done, a win, and the start of maybe some more momentum and challenges to the guy that finishes second, who I don't think has missed a podium chat in God knows how many races. If we take Germany out of the equation, when he finishes a race, when he finishes a race, he's normally here in the chat. Senna, obviously you had the quali ban going into the start of the race. which made things difficult and obviously stressful as well, because you knew your race pace here was good. Your quali pace pretty much anywhere always seems to be good, but a great drive. You kept your head throughout a very busy start. How'd you feel after that one?
Yeah, I feel very good about it. I hoped for top 6, so I really didn't expect a P2. Because I didn't know that Romsey still had to pit, so I was like, how the hell are the 2 guys so far in front of me? But yeah, I'm very happy with the drive. Like, after turn 1 I was in P12, then the safety car came, I was in P10 then. So yeah, I'm very happy about how everything went today.
Yeah, and if you look at the people that finished behind you, I know Topics has missed some races due to obviously more important things going on. But by turn 1, you were ahead of 2nd and 3rd in the championship. Mm-hmm. I mentioned on the stream that their qualifying positions were what sort of ruined their race for them. I feel as though they didn't really take advantage of your situation. But no, a great drive, and showing why you are top of the championship. I said on the stream as well, it's great to see someone who's quick and consistent, but it's also nice to see when they can battle through as well. And you can have someone that can drive quickly and do all right when the air's clean and they're on their own, but when it comes to getting past people, especially around a circuit where it's as difficult as this, I think everyone who's watching has got to take their hats off to you, because that is a phenomenal drive. So well done on much. P2 and extending your championship lead as well.
Thank you. Just want to say one thing about the safety car, because probably you saw that I got a 5-second penalty. I was going into turn 1, had lag, I was driving in P3, then I backed off because I said, what the fuck, I'm driving in P3 now, and then I was back into P12, and it was on my screen like, give the position back, so I didn't know what to do, so that's why I got a 5-second penalty.
Okay, well, fortunately one that doesn't change
no, so that just
anything really. No, but thank you for the update. We'll move on to 3rd place, Mr. Valtteri Romsey. How's it going, mate? You alright? Pleased with that?
Yeah, I'm pleased. It was a really rough race at the T1. I had a little bit of contact and dropped to the bottom of the pack, but
I saw that in turn 1, and we both kind of really felt for you, because you put in a good qualifying. Your strategy was looking good as well. Your pace, obviously, to get back to where you were was great. When you got behind Topics, the gap wasn't really going up that much. The only question I have was, what was with the strategy to pit for the soft tyres at the end?
I had to push real aggressively through the midfield to get back on top. So normally those hards would have lasted, but there was 5 laps to go and they were over 70% and real risk of puncture, so I decided to go safe.
Well, one person that did get the hards to the end was James Hook, who did exactly the same amount of laps as you did on the hards.
Yeah.
But obviously I understand the risk of a puncture, because that would be race over. And all your hard work from getting back through. So I think damage limitation was, in hindsight, which is a wonderful thing, to take P3 for sure. Is a great move, and as I say, well deserved after what happened to you in turn 1 as well. But no, well done. Obviously your teammate came home in 5th. Senna Maggi came home in 4th, so the battle rages on between Red Bull and Renault at the moment. Renault, take the upper hand away from this one. Philippe, any questions for the guys?
I don't really have any questions actually. I just think it was a good race to watch. Fun, different strategies. Nothing else than maybe talk about next week.
I'm looking forward to this one.
Me too.
Yeah. Topics are obviously warranted that you're around. Spa, what are your thoughts?
Well, work commitments to one side. If everything's good on that end, then hopefully we can have another good result again. I mean, obviously this time round I want to be battling with Senna, because He's the guy that's got the pace, and he's just who I want to beat. And today, the win for me today was what I wanted, but I wanted to win Battle in Senna, just to put my statement out there to say, you know what, I am as fast as you.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. It's not so much a hollow one, but I think you got to take away from the fact that you finished 27 seconds ahead still.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So there's no question that your pace would have been challenging. But at the same time, if you'd have been battling each other, who knows, it could have ended in tears for both of you as well.
I'm still excited. I'm still ecstatic that I won, but just to be able to battle with Senna, to win would have been just that icing on the cake for me.
Well, plenty of races left.
As long as you don't do it in Belgium, I don't know, you can have it.
Yeah. So obviously Senna, Belgium, your home race. Spa, probably for me, the best track that we go to in the entire calendar.
I think the same about it.
How do you feel going into it? Obviously leading the championship, your home Grand Prix. You've come through this one.
I'd rather want to win than my home race. Not really gonna do anything about it to win the.
But obviously, with Spa, we understand that it has its own little miniature climate, and it can rain, be dry, it can be freezing cold. All in the space of 4 or 5 hours. But how do you feel? Obviously, if I go back to my home race at Silverstone, I desperately wanted it to be dry because I love driving the circuit. As it was Spa, you feel the same? It's not one that you really want to be doing?
No, I like it in the rain.
You don't mind it?
In the rain. Yeah, no, I don't mind it. I feel quite comfortable in the rain.
Yeah.
I know some guys that are like I'm competing with that don't feel very comfortable, so I wouldn't mind if it's raining.
No, okay. I mean, you might say that differently if you practice Eau Rouge in the rain for the first couple of times and end up in the barrier. But okay, Romsey, obviously, you know what, we only start doing the practices for the tracks that we're going to be racing at sort of come Wednesday, Thursday. How do you feel around Spa?
It's a bit in that here. This was not my strongest track, and neither is Spa, but I'll do my best and try to keep up with you guys.
Good. Well, hopefully it can be as entertaining as most of the races are in GP4. I definitely think it's going to be vital to whoever is leading into Eau Rouge on the first lap, because it seems the cars behind get very disturbed by the dirty air, and Eau Rouge becomes a bit of a skating rink more than anything. And before you know it, you can lose 4, 5, 6, 7 cars coming through there as well. But I'm really looking forward to Spa to commentate on. I'm looking forward to racing it as well, but that's neither here nor there right now. I do think that it's going to be a fantastic race, and the home race can find you maybe half a second a lap. So you don't need it, but there is something about.
We don't know yet if I need it. If I saw the race pace of topics today, I think I'm going to be practicing a lot again.
Yeah, Senna will be putting a call in to have topics sent away on work or something like that next Monday afternoon, just before we're due to race. But guys,
go away with work, I'll be taking my PS4 with me.
Yeah. Guys, thank you for a great race. Thank you as ever for joining the comms box as well to give your thoughts and feelings on what was a great race. Philippe, again, always a pleasure to have you by my side on commentary.
Same, buddy.
Aside from obviously the excitement of the race, I do enjoy commentating with you every week, so long may it continue. As ever, thanks to all of the guys that make SFR what it is. Thank you to those of you who join us and watch and comment in the chat. Thank you to the rest of the drivers, and I can't leave without saying well done, James Hook, coming home in P6, having done a strategy that he hadn't even spoken about the entire week of practice, but to come home in P6, it would have been P5 without a penalty, but a great drive in a track that every single practice session he's had problems, meltdowns, crashes, spins, everything. So well done to him. Well done to his teammate Shadow as well. A double points finish for Williams, which I think may be the first one this season. No, they did it in China because James Hook got 4th and Shadow got 10th, but a more solid points finish for them today. So well done to them, guys. Well done to everyone else who finished in the points. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll be racing with the rest of GP3, and you'll have Senna on comms with Robin. But yeah, great race. Can't wait for it. Obviously, remember the hashtag for Sterling Moss. A little nod of respect to what was one of the greatest drivers to never win a World Championship in Formula 1. But other than that, we are done here. Tomorrow night GP3, Wednesday night GP2, and then Thursday night we go up to the Prem guys to see how they handle Turn 4, and then hopefully learn something for next season. Other than that, we'll speak to you soon. Thanks ever so much for watching. Take care, guys. Good night.